are together again. On the day we are together again, I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again, we will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table again. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand when we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among people who respect our work. Someday we will go back to work. I will write you a letter for now. I will write you a letter for now. Hope is a message that survives somehow. I will write you a letter for now. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet. I will help the strangers I meet. To the healers who keep us alive. To the healers who keep us alive. A toast to your courage, knowledge and light. To the healers who keep us alive. And the ones we love who are gone. And the ones we love who are gone. We remember the stories and we sing the songs for the ones we love who are gone. And on the day we are together.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Today is January 15th, 2024. I am sure it is cold wherever you are. And if it's not, you're extremely lucky. It's going to be, I think, 2 degrees here tomorrow. 2 stinking degrees. You love snow. You love snow. Aren't you just sweet? Thank you all so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about I would say it's a cold case at this point. Kellisue Ackernecht. We did talk about it a little bit yesterday on my other channel, Clutch. It came up organically, I would say. We were talking about someone else, and that this person didn't want someone, another creator to talk about it. And of course, that piques my interest. And so we're going to talk about it pretty much. So Kelly Sue Abernack, she was a married woman at the time. She has one child. Her child is grown up today. And she was in the midst of a breakup though with her husband, from what I gather. We're going to look and learn a lot today together. This is what I call our study sessions, when we are learning about a case together. Feels like -2. I don't even know what it feels like here, -2. It probably feels like minus 22 here. It's redonkulous. So, last night, the Cheshire Cat came up on my channel, and I would like to thank her for emails and all of that. She is the spokesperson for the Abernack family. Very, very nice lady, and she has a channel as well, and she's has sent some stuff to me, and I found some stuff as well. Mary, welcome to the family. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really, really appreciate that. Really means a lot. Furnace has been running constantly. I bet. I bet. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, please do so. It is a simple but effective way to spread awareness for each of these cases that we talk about. Um, it really, really, really makes a difference. One simple thumbs up. So you guys always do it so great for my channel, and I appreciate that. Don, grandma of 3. Oh, thank you so much. 8 months, my love. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for 8 continuous months. That means more to me, guys, than you guys will ever know. Truly, thank you. Um, so we're going to be talking about that. You guys were off topic. Do you guys remember the other day? It went viral. It was this guy jumped over into a judge's bench. Do you guys remember that? Uh, he went over and she hit her head on the wall. I was reading about that earlier, and the guy is getting attempted unaliving charges. Yeah, yeah, he's getting attempted unaliving charges. So, and most people just saw the clip of, the guy jumping. They didn't know. But before that, the guy was like, Your Honor, I know if you can't give me another chance, I know, if you got to lock me up, go ahead, pretty much. And then after she's like, you're not learning. You're apparently not learning. Jumps right over. I was like, dang. Oh, a judge at that. Yes, he's so screwed. Yeah. Can't be doing that. Recently, especially in the last few years, it's been, unfortunately, a lot of things happen to judges and their family members. So it's totally unfair. Off the topic, before we get to Kelly Apernack, did you guys see this as well? I always like to throw in a couple more things. You guys know I used to work at a funeral home, and I saw this. And when I see these, I am just absolutely blown the freaking away. You can't forget it. FBI agent recounts decaying bodies at Colorado funeral home. So there was over 200 abandoned bodies that were encountered, stacks of partially covered human remains, bodily fluids several inches deep on the floor, and flies, and you can imagine else. the FBI agent said. I can't even. I don't. I God bless the people who had to do that. Prosecutors also revealed text messages sent between the funeral home's owners showing that they were under growing financial pressures and had fears that they would be caught mishandling the bodies. As the bodies accumulated, one of the co-owners even suggested getting rid of them by digging a big hole and treating them with lye or set them on fire, according to the text. 23 of the bodies had death dates from 2019 and 61 were from 2020. FBI agents Andrew Cohen said the remains include adults, infants, and fetuses. One second, y'all. There we go. Sorry about that. So you know who I really feel sorry for is the families. That's who I really feel sorry for is the families that thought that their loved ones was probably being cremated. These are probably cremations, I would say. They thought they had been sent to the crematory. Um, and these, so what else does it say? The bodies were discovered in early October after neighbors noticed a putrid smell, you think. Near the squat building was a post office and a few scattered homes placed between dry, grassy, and empty lots with uh, park semi trailers. The Hawfords are accused of abusing corpses, stealing, laundering money, and forging documents over several years at the Return of Nature Funeral Home, which was based in Colorado Springs and stored remains in nearby Penrose. They are each charged with approximately 190 counts of abuse of a corpse, 5 counts of theft, 4 counts of money laundering, and more than 50 counts of forgery. Um, there they are. He texted, "My one and only focus is to keep us out of jail," she said in text message he allegedly wrote. So, they said option A would be build a new machine ASP. B, dig a big hole and use lye. Where C, dig a big hole and build a large fire. Where uh, I go to prison, which is probably going to happen. Yeah, you think? That is just absolutely beyond anything I have ever heard in my entire life. I agree, Connie. I agree. Poor families. Oh yeah, they had to. You damn right, they had to fake paperwork and stuff. Yeah. So you get a birth certificate and you get a death certificate when you're born and when you die. So I don't know, man. Craziness, absolute craziness. So getting back to the Kelly Sue Appernack, I want to show y'all a couple things. There is a interview here. This is Kellisue Ackernecht's daughter. Her name is Ashley Ackernecht, and thought we could listen to this.
How you want to spell them both?
All right, it's Ashley Ackernecht, Ashley
Right. And you are 21 now.
I am 21 now.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Ackernecht.
Ackernecht. So, we started before, and I'll
Right.
kind of tailor my questions now to what we'd already started
Okay.
talking about. But 13 years ago, tell me, how old were you, and how did you first find out about what had happened?
Yeah, so at the time I was 8. My 9th birthday was a couple weeks away. I was laying in bed and I just remember waking up and there was a cop and my grandfather in my room. And I remember like a cop shining a flashlight all over the place. And I was like, what's going on? And my grandpa had said that the smoke alarm went off. So they were just checking stuff out. And, I was 8, so I didn't really understand. I was like, whatever, just went back to sleep for a little while. And I still heard stuff and I woke up again. And I remember my dad was searching through a filing cabinet. And I had asked him where my mom was because she wasn't home. And he said that she stayed late at work because apparently there was like a big boss coming in the next couple of days. So, helping out with that or something. So I did not know anything. I did not find out until the afternoon of October 1st
And
after school.
So you'd gone to school like any
Right.
other day,
Yeah.
but at
I
the
went
end
to
of the
school that
day-
morning, normal, I'm not sure, either grandma or my dad brought me to school, and I went to school that day normal, just thinking my mom was at work and I'd see her when I got out of school, and that was not the case.
So you find out about this. I know you told me before, there's a group of people that sat down with you. I'm assuming that's when they broke the news to you. Do you
Right.
remember what your initial reaction as an 8-year-old was? Was it, well, what do you mean? I mean, like, had to take some processing.
It was the end of the day, it was dismissal. I was pulled into this office at my elementary school and there was just a bunch of adults at this table, and I had this room I'd never been in, and all these people I didn't know, and my dad was sitting right next to me at the table, and I was like, what's going on? And, he ended up saying, Mommy's missing. And he just started crying. And I knew it was something bad. My dad was crying and Mommy's missing. In my mind, I'm thinking that's bad. Where's my mom? But, in reality, I don't actually, understand, what's going on. And I remember crying. I remember just being confused.
That whole experience, I mean, you talk about it, and it seems like you still have really good details. I mean, 13 years goes by, people's memories can fade, they get a little, but it seems
8
like you
years
still
old.
remember it like it was yesterday. Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
This is Ashley Ackernecht. She was, I believe, 8 years old when her mom went missing, Kelly Ackernecht, and we're going to get deep into it shortly.
I mean, I can't imagine it wouldn't still be
I
with you.
can, yeah.
Could you say you can?
I can it's like I can almost remember every single detail of where every single person was sitting at that table. I remember it was a rectangular table and my dad was sitting on the end and my principal was at this end and I was right here with my teacher and all these, there was I can't exactly remember the other people that were in there, but there was just all these adults. I had no idea who they were.
As the years have gone on, what I can talk me through how your feelings have changed, how your thoughts have changed about what may have happened. Like you said, initially it was Mommy's missing. Where are you at today?
I mean, growing older and developing more thoughts and, being fed thoughts from people and really just trying.
Sorry.
What did you ask me?
So, initially at 8 years old, you're told mommy's missing, and you said, I knew mom's missing.
Oh, right.
So,
So
now
yeah,
21, are your thoughts mom is still missing? Are your thoughts something else happened?
I feel like the thoughts I want to have are that, she's alive and well and she's going to come back. But you also have those thoughts sometimes where, maybe something bad really did happen and we just don't know. And
So there's arguments about this. Now, Kelly Abernack, her car was found abandoned about very, very close to their property, about 3 blocks or so. Now, she was having car problems at the time, and it was overheating. Some people say that the car caught on fire by itself, and others say that it wasn't. It was intentionally caught on fire. I would like to know if the police did any chemical testing on the car to see. I have also heard that allegedly the driver's seat was pushed far back, and that would indicate probably a man had been driving it, if so. Uh, I see you. That is what we have heard, that it's within walking distance of AH and I guess that other guy.
personally like to believe that my mom will come back.
Is that what your gut tells you?
Yeah,
That she'll come back?
I feel like.
You know how they were talking about drains? They conducted multiple tests, including 2 cars on fire. Oh, okay. Thank you, Brittany. I did not know that. You know how they were talking about drains yesterday? Someone else was walking in the drains and it's hard to get out. If you was at my live yesterday, they mention it up here. Not in this interview, but a thing I'm going to show you next.
Well, no.
I've heard that a lot of people say that they were having a
Somebody
lot of
just knows
trouble.
something.
You're convinced someone knows something?
Yeah. And as much as I say I want, she will come back. You can't, 100% say that.
No, me. This is
So you want to believe that she's out
Right.
there and will come home?
Right.
this
But
is Kelly
I
Sue
sense
Apperneck's
you
daughter.
have an inner struggle.
It's just been a really long time. So it's hard to, really believe that still.
Yes, she may have had
Um,
a boyfriend.
Tell me about your mom. One of the things I like to make sure people get out of these stories is that they get to know the person a little.
Bless
So
her
wish I
heart.
could.
I know you're at 8 years old. Your memories are. You
I
just
wish
have
I
so
could
many of them.
tell you about my mom, Jerry. That's one of the things that really sucks. Is that
So
I was
sad.
8, and my mom worked all the time.
Yeah, the
all the time
cops say an engine
to
fire.
make sure that I was good and that
Thank
I
you,
had what
Britt.
I needed. And that's all that she cared about, was making sure I was okay and that, the bills were paid and I had food on the table and clothes and from, other people telling me about her, they, would always say how much of a hard worker she is. And I actually, I work at the Dunkin' Donuts that my mom used to work at when she was pregnant with me, and she had me, and she started working at this Dunkin' Donuts, and we have the same bosses, like it's the same boss now. So, he always compares me to my mom and how much of a hard worker she was and how much of a hard worker I am. So, like, that's good to hear.
You talked about how your mom always worked hard to make sure you had everything you needed.
Right.
And I'm sure you've heard that same story from people who knew her, that she worked hard to be able to provide for you.
Right.
Does knowing that make it harder to understand how she might still be out there somewhere? Like it wouldn't seem to make sense that she would willingly leave.
Right.
Right.
Right. And that's what also is in the back of my head, is that all these people, saying, oh, your mother loved you so much, I just can't see her doing that. I can't see her doing that. You're the only thing she cared about. You're the reason that.
So they had thought that Kellisue may have actually just ran off, like, up to a camp with a guy that she was seeing. But I don't see her doing this. I don't see her leaving her only daughter for nothing at all.
She works, so that's another thing that makes it difficult to believe that, she has left and will eventually come back.
Which would then obviously lead to thoughts of there had to be something,
Right.
some ill intent, some foul play that was involved somewhere, whether it was taking her or her harming her or otherwise.
Right.
So looking at, again, the last 13 years, we talked a little bit before about your dad. And when you were 8, you had mom, you had dad, and now it seems like the way the last 13 years have played out, whether it's because of what happened with mom or otherwise, you don't have dad in your life either at this point. Tell me about that.
It's very when something like that happens, it stresses a family out, and something like that can either bring a family closer together or tear them apart. And I don't speak to my dad anymore. I'm not saying that I think he has something to do with my mom's
Listen to
disappearance,
this.
but that's just from personal, wants. I just would rather not speak to him.
So a lot of people do think that her father, Kelly's husband, soon to be ex, did it. Now, of course, whenever someone goes missing, it's usually the husband's wife or someone in the home, particularly when there is a separation happening. That's a big thing as well. Kellisue Ackernecht has not been found to this very day. She's basically lost both her parents, which is very sad. Doesn't know where her mother is, and she doesn't speak with her father anymore.
Things happened in my childhood, like, recent, like after my mom had disappeared, and he started becoming more, combative and not wanting, my grandparents to take care of me. And
Now, I've read on some forums that, and this is alleged, I don't know, just from what people have said, that he would do things almost to hinder like vigils and things like that. He just didn't seem to, you know,
He
allegedly
just
care.
he I had an order of protection put against him at one time because I was afraid he would try to harm me.
Now that says something, y'all. She got an order of protection against her father. That's amazing. I mean, that's just wow.
So yeah, it's just not a good situation, really.
As we're sitting here, you're saying you're not saying your dad had something to do with your mom's disappearance. Are you convinced he did not have something to do with her disappearance?
I'm convinced that if he did, he didn't do it by himself.
So you haven't ruled that possibility out.
No. Because I mean,
yeah.
the first person everybody blames in something like that is the spouse or, something. And I'm not just trying to be like that. Like, yes, I was home that night. And yes, I know I saw my dad going through those files. But that's all that I do know.
I think the next thing people will want to know is how do you hold it together? I mean, you've been through so much as an 8-year-old, and then the things that have happened in the past 13 years. How are you doing? I mean, you must have other people important to your life, your aunt, other family members who have really helped
My
support
grandma, my grandpa, my aunt have been there for me. And
Good she's got them.
very grateful for them. And
All right, Rogue, honey, take care.
if it weren't for like my grandma and grandpa, I would have ended up with my dad. So that's not something I would have wanted. And I think really just having that loving, supporting, system, even if it's just one person, or, just having somebody there for you, and they might not understand.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That is so generous of you. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you. Very
Personally,
cool.
like, that wasn't their mom, but they're still, my families, they still are affected, like, by my mom's disappearance.
you. And when you say your
Poor girl.
grandparents, you're talking about your
I'm
mom's
talking
mom and
about
dad?
no,
Oh,
Poor young
it
woman.
is my mom's in-laws.
okay. All right.
So technically not even, related to her.
I see.
But we all lived in this house.
Mhm.
So
Are they, and then they're still around and
my grandma is still alive, yeah.
okay.
My grandpa passed a couple years ago. Him and my dad never really got along. And that's due to the fact that my grandpa was basically my dad my entire life. So
No. What if you had to come up with a scenario for what happened? Do you have one in your head? And not a I hope, I want to believe. I mean, has there been something where, nights going to bed, you sit and you think about it in your head and you're like, gosh, I just have a gut feeling this is what happened, or is it still just such an open book? You really don't know which way to lean.
I don't.
Because of that, what's your message to people? We hear from the chief,
Right.
we hear from everybody that
She's
somebody out
20,
there always knows
20 years
something.
old in this interview.
If this story gets in front of that person who knows something, what do you say to them to say, finally talk about what you know?
Like, I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's bad. Like, I don't care what the outcome of, the information that's given is I just want information. I just want answers. Like, I just want to know. I'm not necessarily looking for a happy ending anymore. but more just it ending.
Everybody can understand that.
All right. So, let me show you something here. The Cheshire cat. Oops, wrong one. She, I'm going to drop y'all a link so y'all can subscribe to the Cheshire cat for the replay crew. Link is in the description for you guys. Here it is. Okay.
Walked out with another person that night. They both punched out together. They both got in the car together. Everything seemed to be fine. Then all of a sudden, all woke me up. Jogging past.
Our community, our news media.
One second.
Forgotten. We have not forgotten.
I don't think this was it. Hold on one second. Okay. I was showing y'all the wrong one. Showing you the wrong one. 1 second. Okay, it's this one.
What's going on that I probably should go down and check out instead of sitting in the house.
She
or
recorded
cleaning
this
the
a
house,
year
which is
ago.
what's been going on a lot lately. Anyways,
This is who we
wanted
talked
to
to
talk to you
last
about my
night.
friend Kellisue Ackernecht. She went missing in 2008. I wasn't going to use my platform for any true crime or to talk about things like this, but I owe it to her and her daughter to be able to cover this, as you know, I've been covering it since the beginning. Kelly was married. She had a husband named Jason, who was a volunteer fireman. They had a little girl, this one, Ashley. She was about 7, 8 at the time when mom disappeared. Kelly went to work. She was a shift supervisor at Rite Aid in Amsterdam, New York. She worked second shift. She got out of work around 9:45, got in her car. Next thing you know, at 2:30 in the morning, her car was found burning a couple blocks from her home.
So within 4 hours, everything changed. Something happened in 4 hours. Now, there could be different scenarios. She could have been carjacked. It could have been something, again, even like her husband. They were having bad trouble. They were planning on splitting up. She also, from what I understand, had a boyfriend, allegedly. So it could have been something like that, you know, coming home so late, and having car trouble, you know, it's not a good combination.
No sign of Kelly. Nothing. She's never been heard from since. No one's seen her. No one's found her. There's been literally no information. Over the years, we've had vigils. We've had missing person day for her. We've had searches. New York State Search and Rescue, Q Center came. Texas EquiSearch was involved. Canines that were trained in finding bones and burnt vehicles. No, Kelly wasn't even in her car. So there's a lot. So I have a full binder, and it's quite mixed up because it's been dropped a few times. And it's got a lot of information that we've collected over the years. And eventually I would like to get it into electronic files so that I can share it, and that maybe, you know, people would like to help me go through it or help me pick apart her case for her daughter, because I feel like we're missing something, but I don't know what it is. When Kelly went missing, it was like on the cutting edge of like social media and Facebook. MySpace was it was starting to fizzle out at the time. Kellisue didn't have a big internet presence. Her and Jason's relationship was kind of volatile. I think they tried to stay together for Ashley's sake. When Ashley became like a teenager, we decided to kind of let her have a normal teenage life and not cover her mom a lot, because I didn't want her to be that little girl at school, the little girl who had the missing mom. We just wanted Ashley to have a normal childhood, teenage life, and not attached.
I mean, even EquiSearch search for Kelly. Coexist says, Justin, do we know if her alleged boyfriend was also having an affair or was he single? I don't know that yet, Coexist, but that is a good question. Oh my goodness. Canadian Mama Bear, thank you so much. Welcome for the 5 new members, guys. If you was awarded one of the 5, please give Canadian Mama Bear a big thank you. God! Wow! God! Wow! God! Thank you. Appreciate you, Mama Bear.
Her mom to what was going on at school and stuff. So, but now Ashley's a young adult, and I know she's missing her mom, and I know she wants answers, and it's kind of sat stagnant for a while. And I know the detective in Johnstown, Detective Gilbo, would probably really like to close this case out and would like to bring Kellisue home. I have a video I'm going to upload of Kellisue's husband, Jason, that he did with one of our local news outlets just recently. And I'm going to leave it here at that. If there's any questions, feel free to leave it in a comment below, and I'll do the best to answer it. I work full time, so I won't be on too much, but I'll try my best. I'd like to do something every weekend for her, at least maybe every Sunday, just to talk about it. If anyone's interested, that would be nice. Obviously, I'm very nervous. So, Kellisue Ackernecht, she went missing from Johnstown, New York, September 30th, 2008. Google her, look her up. I'll post some links below. Maybe you guys can help me find her, find some answers, ruffle some feathers around here locally. That's normally what this does when we talk about Kellisue. It ruffles feathers. So let's see what we can find out. And I guess we'll try to use this channel for that. Thank you all. Have a great day. Have a good 4th. Stay in the light. Peace, light, and love, guys. Thanks.
Jason.
Speaking.
Jason Ackernecht. Hi. Jerry Gretzinger, News Channel 13.
Okay, this is the ex-husband. Let me show you the burned car real quick. Someone was asking about that. There is the burned car. Now that thing is torched. Absolutely torched. It's one of those little Saturn cars. You know, they were a relatively inexpensive car at the time. So, BB, the thing is, they're saying it did not have an I mean, it had gas in it, obviously, you know. I mean, so there's always that accelerant, you know, if you got gas in it. But I don't believe she walked away as far as anything at all. Listen to this.
Yes.
Glad we're able to connect. I appreciate the time.
Not a problem, my friend.
Hey, so just you know, I mean, obviously, TV station, everything we do, we record, so we have a copy of it. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. And just I wanted to get an opportunity to chat with you. You know, we're doing this. We do a whole series of these cold cases, and the next one we're working on, which runs tomorrow, is on Kellisue.
Yes.
And you know, I'd spoken with the chief. I've done several interviews on the past, and certainly you're somebody who I wanted to speak to. And I, you know, we'll get right into it because I know your time is precious. But First of all, let me just ask you, going back to that time, I know right after it was a difficult time for you because, as often is the case, the spouse of someone who goes missing, everybody looks right at the husband or the wife and assumes that they must have had something to do with it. Talk to me about that experience, and kind of answer us what some of the things people were talking about at the time were. This is an opportunity to say to them, hey, here's what really happened. Are you there?
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Well, what happened was I was sound asleep with my daughter, and my parents had to wake me up because the cops come knocking on the door at early in the morning.
Yeah.
And my stepfather come and woke me up and says, "Is Kellisue here?" I says,
I'm sorry. You can hear him thinking. You can hear the wheels turning,
"No,
in my opinion.
because I haven't seen her."
Now, not sure if he done it. We're not saying he done it. He is obviously has never been charged or anything. But like the daughter said, he may have had help, allegedly. Or he may not be, done anything at all.
And I'm
Just don't
going,
know.
I go, "Why? What's
All
going on?"
alleged.
They go,
You don't know.
"Cops are here. They want to see you." So I get up, get dressed, go downstairs, and they says, "Your car is on fire down at Frog Hollow." I go, "Excuse me?" So I go with them, and I do what they asked me to do, and we go down there, and yep, that was my car. It was burnt to a crisp.
Where's your wife?
And
That's the main thing.
with my daughter at that time, she wasn't even 7 years old. And what do you tell a 7-year-old? I had to lie to her that day because she had to go to school. And when she come home, sat down, told her that her mother didn't come home from work and we don't know where she is. And they investigated me, and I didn't have a thing to do with it. I was in the clear because I was sound asleep that night. And Dave Gilbo and I were in contact for days on end. And then I had to go get her paycheck that week. And I noticed something strange.
He got the paycheck within 24 hours, I believe, of her going missing.
But I didn't put two and two together until years later that half her clothes were down at work.
You said she had clothes at work?
Yeah.
What would be the explanation for that?
She was cheating on me with a coworker.
Oh. You wasn't mad about that, was you?
And do you think that had something to do with her disappearance then?
Yes.
So the chief, he kind of, when we were chatting, he said, I actually just heard something new from Jason, and he alluded to something about a coworker, that there might have been a plan that he hadn't heard about before. He said, so is this the same thing?
Yes.
So what's the story there? I mean, is there more to it that you're aware of, or?
I've just heard from different people. I don't know their names or like anything, but
So I'm going to show y'all real quick while we wait on that. I'm going to show y'all something. This is what I think Andrew was saying. Hold on, I gotta put this up. 1 second. 1 second. Give credit to Andrew. Bear with me.
A young lady went MIA, and that's all I know. Other than the old lady's mother used to date the brother eons ago. A young lady went MIA, and that's all I know. Other than the old lady's mother used to date the brother eons ago.
So there's that.
I've heard from different people that she had an affair with a guy that she worked with and would have her clothes missing and like this. That's what put two and two together.
And you're saying the clothes were at the Rite Aid?
Yeah, in Amsterdam, right there on Guy Park Avenue.
Huh. I'll have to ask Chief about that. I'm sure this is something that they could verify if there were clothes found or otherwise. And at the time when she disappeared, the amount of her clothes that were in the drawers. I mean, did you notice at the time that there was some missing or?
Nope.
And police.
Okay, someone said they're lost. Deb. So this man, his name is Jason Ackernecht. His wife at the time got off work at Rite Aid at about 9 p.m. She never made it home. Within about 3 blocks of her home, her car was found ablaze. Now, she has never been found since 2008. And there's been a lot of speculation about Jason Ackernecht there and other people. Even, Andrew said I think he said his brothers dated her or something like that. Now, Jason and Kellisue Ackernecht, like I said, they were husband and wife, but they were in the midst of splitting up. Jason alleges that Kelly was dating a coworker that she was working with. Now, in my opinion, Jason has an 8-year-old at home at the time. If he did something, allegedly, like let's say, for instance, allegedly, if he did something and the car was found 3 blocks away, well, you could allegedly torch the car and just walk home.
So I'm sure he's got records if they went through and thought to look at that or not. But let me, if you don't mind, and these are kind of the tough questions to ask. But as I said, and you lived it. Immediately after this, people looked at you and they said, "Okay, what did Jason do? What did he have to do with this?" So if you don't mind, I'm just going to ask you straight out to answer the questions people had, and just answer as you would. The first one. Did you kill Kellisue Ackernecht?
I had nothing to do with it. Not at all.
And that was my next question. Did you have anything to do at all with her disappearance, or do you?
Ziggy, I think this is like a news station, a local news station, or a radio station.
What happened?
I have no clue.
So, I've had a couple of people said, I don't think he did it, but I think he knows. And you're saying you don't know anything about it?
Nope.
Now, his daughter is not speaking to her father now. She's over 20 years old. And we just saw in an interview that kind of feels like he knows someone who may have done this allegedly. What does this tone remind me of, Allie?
What was I going to say? So here's something too. So how long were you guys married for?
Well,
I mean, long
we
enough
got-
to have an 8-year-old daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you knew her. I mean, I don't know exactly what your relationship was like. I know the chief said that there were other partners that were in and out of your lives over the years, but you had to know her pretty well. So with the knowledge you had of her, what's your gut telling you today? Is Kellisue alive and out there and decided to just disappear and start over? Or do you think something happened to her?
I think she just took off and started her life over again.
So you don't think there was any foul play? You think she just decided she needed a restart?
Yeah.
What let me ask you about your daughter. I mean, I spoke to her, and she was very well spoken about her emotions of that day, but she said there is no perfect answer for her because either she finds out that mom was killed, or she finds out that mom up and left and never came back for her. And I know I know there's been some strain, some stress in your relationship between the two of you, but how as a father what message would you give to her to try to help her deal with whatever the outcome would be?
I've talked to her a few times, and I've told her that her mother and someone she worked with, they took the night, from what I was told, they took the night deposit and took off out of town.
Took the night deposit
So that's part of the other guy you talked about from Rite Aid. You're saying that Kellisue and that person took the night deposit and disappeared together?
Yeah.
Huh. Any idea who that person was? Because I'm assuming there would be another individual who would, has kind of disappeared.
Have no clue. Have no clue who he was.
And you've gotten this information just from other people who've talked to you over the years, or?
Yeah.
So he said she's having an affair with a coworker and they took the night deposit, but he's just saying he's heard this.
Yes.
So we don't know.
All right, I'll have to talk to the chief about this. So, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I appreciate you doing this. I wish we could have, connected in person, but I know you're busy and it's hard for us to get out to Johnstown too much. But again, there was such a focus on you initially and for several years that had to be difficult. It had to be hard to move on. Do you want anything else you want to say to people who were just so convinced you were involved at the time, and explain to them how you weren't, and how you've tried to rebuild your life after that?
Well, I went to counseling because of all of this, because I had nothing to do with it. And not only that, I was going through had a medical condition because I was going through seizures.
That brought on by this whole ordeal?
Well, I had that before.
Okay.
And I also had brain surgery.
So that, with all of this, was so much more added stress for you to have to work through.
Brain surgery?
Exactly.
Are you remarried now?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations on that.
It'll be 2 years in October.
Congratulations. Good for you.
Sassy, he said, hold on, I'll tell you what he said. I'll play it for you. 1 second. Let me play it for you. This is what Andrew said. Bear with me 1 second.
A young lady went MIA, and that's all I know. other than the old lady's mother used to date the brother eons ago.
The old lady's mother used to date the brother.
A young lady went MIA, and that's all I know. Other than the old lady's mother used to date the brother eons ago.
So that's what he said. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. So that's what he said, Sassy.
Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, Jason, I do appreciate you taking the time to chat with me here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can ask you about. Some people said the car fire. Jason was he had been a volunteer firefighter, and they made some immediate connection. Oh, he's a volunteer firefighter. He must have started the fire in the car. Was that your only car at the time? I think the chief said that was the only vehicle you guys had, and you didn't have a lot of money, and therefore it didn't really make sense. Why would you want to,
No, I had two vehicles in my name.
Okay. So it was the Saturn, and you had another, you said?
Yeah, I had a pickup truck.
Okay. But as far as addressing the people who thought, oh, well, he was a volunteer fireman at one point, it makes sense that he would light the car on fire.
No, that ain't.
What do you mean by, I swear I heard him say he talked to her after that? Okay.
Congratulations on that.
Be 2 years and
To chat with me here. Some people said the car fire, Jason was he had been a volunteer firefighter, and they made some immediate connection. Oh, he's a volunteer firefighter. He must have started the fire in the car. Was that your only car at the time? I think the chief said that was the only vehicle you guys had, and he said that was the only one.
No, I had two vehicles in.
Okay. So it was the Saturn, and you had another, you said?
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, Jason, I do.
Be 2 years in October.
Was so much more added stress for you to have to work through.
Exactly. Seizures, medical condition, all of this.
Who were just so convinced you were involved at the time, and explain to them how to focus on you initially and for several years. It had to be difficult. Do you want to say to people who were just so convinced you were involved at the time and you weren't, and how you've tried to rebuild?
Well, I went to counseling because I was going through I had a medical condition, seizures.
That would take up too much more of your time. Information just from and that person took the night deposit. And so that's part of so the other guy you talked about from Rite Aid, you're saying that
Took off out of town. Took the night, from what I was told, they took the night deposit and took off out of town.
So that's part of so the other guy you talked about from Rite Aid, you're saying that Kellisue and that person took the night deposit and disappeared together?
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
Took the night deposit. He didn't say that afterwards.
But as far as addressing the people who thought, oh, well, he was a volunteer fireman at one point, it makes sense that he would light the car on fire.
No, that
He was a volunteer fighter.
that ain't. They were all rumors, and you know how rumors are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so the story, the way we're telling the story sort of chronologically, we take the pieces apart, we start at the beginning, we work our way through, we talk about the rumors, and then in our third piece, which is the major piece, it's kind of the resolution of all of that, how they did the test burn on the Saturn, how they said, this doesn't look like arson at all. There was the radiator issue in the car. So a lot of that has been written. So what we're going to do is the conversation I'm having with you, I'm going to talk about that at the end of the third piece. And the whole third piece, like I said, is kind of resolving a lot of the questions, a lot of the rumors. But then I'm going to take this conversation and I'm going to take something from it, put it in that last story, and then let people know, you know what, everything else he had to say, we're going to make it available so you can listen for yourself. So that's why I say, if there's anything else that you want to address or put out there, you know, now's the time. You know, please feel free.
Yeah, I've been proven innocent, and I had nothing to do with anything.
I don't think he's been proved innocent. I don't think that's the truth.
All right, I think that pretty much sums it up.
But if he has,
Jason, I appreciate your time. If I ever have another question or something comes out of this other storyline if there's another guy that had ran off with her and that something comes up of it, hopefully I can reach out again and just kind of touch base and close that loop if it happens. Is that all right?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time and good luck. And again, congratulations on your new marriage.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So he married again. For 28/21, April 28. Where did my chat go? There we go. April 28, 21. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Cheshire Cat. I'm going to drop that link again. I couldn't see Ericon. Maybe he's got me blocked. I don't know. She's got different videos here. She does all different kinds of videos. I was trying to see if she has anything else here at all. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. Look. Second. I think that's the one we just looked at. Pretty sure.
Husband named Jason, who's a volunteer fireman. They had a little girl. And when mom disappeared, Kelly went to work. She was a shift supervisor at Rite Aid in Amsterdam, New York. She worked second shift.
Okay, yeah. So make sure y'all subscribe up to the Cheshire Cat. They say, you know, usually when people start talking about this case, feathers get ruffled. So
that was Kellisue Ackernecht around the time of her disappearance 13 years ago. These are images of what she may look like today if she is still alive.
So that is what she may look like if she was found today. One of these are age progressed photos of what she might look like today.
If she is still alive. Johnstown Police Chief David Gilbo says generating age progression photos like these is typically reserved for use with missing children, but an exception was made because of the continued mystery surrounding this case, and Kellisue's now 21-year-old daughter Ashley asked for them.
She just asked if we put it out there in case, you know, like I said, if Kellisue is still alive, somebody may know her. Somebody may know her by the new look.
He seems like a good sheriff to me.
Kellisue left work in Amsterdam the evening of September 30th, 2008. Less than 4 hours later, her car was found in flames. Gilbo
I wonder if that Rite Aid is still open, or if it's still a business there.
Does not
We need to find out like who the managers and stuff
suspect arson.
was
The car had been having
who worked
radiator
there
problems.
at the time.
Extramarital affairs seem to support the theory that she just left, but without a trace.
I mean, to me, the ex is saying, "Oh, she was dating one of her coworkers," but there is no proof of that. There is, more proof that she was having an extramarital affair. I believe, allegedly, he was too, Jason, her husband. But I think he got mad, in my opinion.
It's also hard to believe Kellisue would leave and never return for her daughter, Ashley, who was just 8 at the time her mother disappeared. Ashley had spoken exclusively to Cold Case 13, the first interview she's ever done about the case.
Yeah, they went to Rite Aid is now Walgreens. But I believe there's still some Rite Aids. They kept some of the Rite Aid
She made a
names,
plea
didn't
to
they?
anyone with information.
I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's bad. Like, I don't care what the outcome of, the information that's given is I just want information. I just want answers. Like, I just want to know.
Gilbo says since our story aired, information new and old has started coming in. Has it been successful getting the story back out there and the kind of the response?
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of people that are, especially in this area, are talking about it again. It's definitely putting me to new locations, new people to talk to.
For now, he asks you to take a good look at these pictures. If you know where Kellisue Ackernecht is or what happened to her, contact Johnstown Police or email coldcase13@wnyt.com. Just today learned that Kellisue is not the only member of her.
All right. What's wrong with Roxy's aunt? What's wrong with your aunt, Roxy? Hope everything's okay, my dear. Let me see here.
Just wanted the public to know.
We now have posted Ashley's entire interview at wnyt.com. There you will also find the age progression photos Gilbo had made of what Kellisue might look like today, assuming she's still alive.
We just hope to get an end to it.
Again,
there's no way. There is no way, in my opinion, she is still alive today. Not in today's world. I mean, you're not going to hide like that for so many years. It's just not going to happen. Let me show you. I'll drop the link for you guys to view this on your own time as well. There you go. I dropped that. This was her car, found in 2008. There it is again. Some people said the seat was pushed back further. They said there was no evidence that it was set on fire intentionally. This is right around the spot where she was found. It's like a Frog Hollow or something like that. But that car is just completely destroyed. Okay, here's where it was found. You can tell where it burnt. Right there. This is her daughter standing where her mom's car was burnt. This is the area. House with Frog Hollow near the location where the car of Kellisue Ackernecht of Johnstown, was last seen and who disappeared 15 years ago at Frog Hollow in Johnstown, New York. This was taken September 27, 2023. Hugs and kisses. We love you always. Her daughter no longer speaks to the father. This is Kellisue's brother. Kellisue's brother, Kellisue's daughter, and the chief. I'm just gonna see. Here is Kellisue. I believe this is Jason. Yep. Kellisue. This is Jason, and this is their daughter. Yeah. Sad. Yeah, he's a good chief. So close to home, and in my opinion, that's a little too close to home for me. I don't know. I don't know if she suspects the husband or who she suspects. I haven't asked her. Hold on, there's something. Let me see something here. What's that? The find. Give me 1 second. Okay, here's a website called The Find.
My name is Callie Lee. I'm a family spokesperson for Kellisue Ackernecht, who went missing on September 30th, 2008 from Rite Aid in Amsterdam, New York.
Did you know her?
No.
Okay. So tell me what happened.
She left work at around 9:45 at night. She proceeded to probably head towards home. Her car was found burnt at around 1:43 in the morning. No sign of Kellisue, gone. Disappeared.
Where was she working?
Rite Aid in Amsterdam, New York.
And she left work at what time?
9:45.
So she leaves work and she gets in her car. What kind of car did she have?
She had a Saturn, a 1998 Saturn.
Sedan, wagon?
Sedan, green, four-door. That's the last, she left work was the last time that she was ever seen.
How old was she?
She was 36.
My name's Tom Kilcullen. I'm the brother of the missing Johnstown woman, Kellisue Ackernecht. She was last seen on September 30th, leaving Rite Aid Amsterdam store after work.
So this is what I'm thinking the car looked like. Right here. Something like this. This is a 1998. This is in New York, upstate New York.
So she was last seen leaving work. Then her car's found burning. Tell me about what's up with that.
Well, if you want to get to this nitty gritty, I guess the plan was for her, like a normal next day, was to go to work for the change of season. So everybody considered to see her the next morning. And we get a phone call. I received a phone call 8 o'clock the next morning, which was hours after the car was found burning. Have you seen your sister? Well, no. Well, we found her car burnt to a crisp 15 seconds from the house.
From her house?
From her house. She made it a half hour away from where she left her job, within the vicinity of her house, and that's where her car was found burnt.
obviously no evidence of her.
No evidence of her in the car. It's been a balled up investigation from the get go. They didn't even consider any foul play. They just towed the car away like it was nothing.
Did they, so they probably didn't find where the fire initiated, like an engine fire. Did it start on the upholstery?
They did 2 controlled burns on the car. They started one car in the front, one car in the back. And they both took a total of 55 minutes to burn. But they still have not yet. They claimed antifreeze caught the car on fire. I'm a mechanic. I've been wrenching for almost 30 years. Antifreeze doesn't burn.
All right. So what do you think happened?
Personally, I think foul play. Because why would she disappear 2 weeks prior to her daughter's birthday?
That's very good points. You drive 30 minutes, and your car is found burned 15 seconds drive from your house. And they're saying antifreeze started the car ablaze. I've never heard of antifreeze catching someone, car. And then your daughter's birthday's 2
Which
weeks.
she always planned a big party at Perry Lane's bowling alley in Johnstown for. Why would you come up missing and leave your daughter that's been glued to you when you've been glued to her? Something's not adding up here.
And her car's on fire.
And her car's burnt and he is a volunteer fireman.
Yes.
Let's throw that into the mix here.
Who's he?
Her husband is a volunteer fireman for Sir William Johnson. So he's trained how to start fires. He's trained how to put out fires.
Where does he fit in after this all happens? Tell me, what is his story?
He claims he was home sleeping.
And is he cooperating with any kind of investigation?
Apparently he's talking to the police department, but he just keeps giving them a runaround. He's, how do you say, to me, he's hiding something.
Is he the father of the kid?
Yes, he is.
And he has possession? Does he have?
He has a child. They live with his mother. My niece is 10 years old.
Now this recording was, I think, in 2010 taken. This recording.
Answers to give her. I mean, they're hiding her.
The daughter of Kelly Ackernecht and Jason Ackernecht, she no longer speaks to her father because, she feels that possibly, allegedly, he may have something to do with it. May not directly, but she feels like it wasn't done alone.
From me, not allowed to talk to her, not allowed to see her.
When's the last time you saw her?
The last time I'd seen my niece was July 5th, I believe, in 2008. I'm sorry, 2009. I'm sorry.
2009. So the last time you saw her was July 2009.
Right.
The husband, he's cooperating, but is he a suspect according to the investigation?
Jason Ackernecht goes to college with me at Fulton Montgomery Community College, and I have approached him through email and in person about today. Asked him for a few different pictures, not a lot. I wanted a wedding picture. I wanted pictures from her wedding day for her bulletin. Jason gave me excuses and he's avoided me. He sent me viruses to my email box. I've been sent threats of my car being blown up. So I believe Jason's a suspect.
You were sent threats by him?
Yes.
So what did he say? He sent you a threat saying?
He says, I know you have a Toyota and I know what I can do with it. Ha ha ha. And with a virus link to it. So he has been zero cooperation with me for anything for Kellisue. I've made her website. I've made her Facebook. I've done a lot for her. And I've only asked him for very, very little help. And I made it easy. Bring me a picture to college. Hand it to me. I'll bring it here. You don't even have to come here today.
And did you know him before this happened?
I knew of Jason. I didn't know him personally. I knew him because he used to pump my gas. That's the only way I knew him. Because he had worked at a gas station before.
So this is before he was a fireman?
Yeah.
Was there any history with him and your sister?
As in violent?
Yeah.
After this all came about, I'm a member of the 4-H department. And my sister worked for Johnstown City School District. I lent her the money to get in, get her fingerprints and all this. After everyone found out who she was and that she was my sister, they all come over and told me how she was showing up to work with bruises on her, marks on her. There's a paper trail at the police department, but no arrests or anything like that for violence or abuse. But they have been called to the house before for abuse. I mean, they both had affairs. They're not perfect, neither one of them by far.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't give you any reason, if he is responsible for anything, doesn't give you any reason to harm her.
He also didn't search. Actually, I planned a massive search. I had ID Discovery here with David Lohr. He's a criminal crime writer.
Mm-hmm.
Had cadaver dogs flown in from out west. I asked Jason before the search. He says, "Oh, I'll be a crew leader." I said, "Great. We'll love to have you on our team. You know, that's great. Come search." During her search, not one of his family showed up to search. He didn't show up to search. No one dropped off food. No one dropped off water. No one from his family was there. As a matter of fact, they were nowhere to be found except moving his sister out of her house that day. He didn't search for her.
So, but from what you understand, he's not a suspect in the case.
He is not.
He's not. According to the police, what do they say?
You want me to tell you the truth of what they said?
Yeah.
Huh? No?
Yes.
The investigator said he's actually too stupid to have anything or any involvement in it. This is what I was told.
That's not very reassuring, is it?
No. I mean, come on, you retire, you're involved in the fire department. The car burnt very close to his uncle's house. Within where the car burnt, I could look in the uncle's back window of his house. That's how close.
You told me that Jason it's not like he's lawyered up. He's cooperating.
He has not lawyered up yet, no.
Okay.
He is cooperating from what they say. Okay, prior to this missing persons day, my co-partner Callie had put missing posters up in Fulton Montgomery Community College. Jason was seen ripping down, and I mean literally ripping them off the tacks, ripping them down, raveling them up, and throwing them in the garbage. Now, if you're not somewhat involved, why would you do that? And why wouldn't you try to help find your wife and mother of your daughter? I'm not trying to throw stones, but somehow or another, somebody knows something. And he seems to be awful suspicious. He has a restraining order against me, a stay away order, because he said I was mean, violent, and I owned guns. But when I go to court, his court appointed judge says, "This, I can see right through this. This is bogus." I said, "You're exactly right. I have no intentions of going near him. He's not worth my time. All I care about is finding out what happened to my sister so I can give my niece some kind of closure."
It's frustrating. It really is. We're at a complete loss. We're not sure what to do.
Just want to know what happened to her, right?
Yeah, we just want to find her. We want to have some closure. We want to put her to rest if that's where she needs to be. And if she's out there okay somewhere, we just need to know she's okay. And
I'd also like to know why Johnstown Police Department has not called in the state troopers for help. I've pleaded with the senior investigator, Carl Maybaum from the Fonda State Police, BCI investigators. It's like they want to keep it in their own little world, but yet they're getting nowhere. And I have different contacts that tell me that state police should have been involved right from the get-go. Obviously, you're talking a small town police department. The chief doesn't return calls. The district attorney doesn't return calls. I get a little bit of a contact out of Mr. Gilbo. But other than that, there's no communication. Now I come here today and everybody has told me that I got to start making noise. Get it to the media's attention, get it to here, get it to there. They even asked me how. I guess the reason I got fired up in the earlier proceedings were they had said, take it to the higher up. And I said, how high do you want me to go with this? We have a written letter from state attorney's office saying that we need to contact the local police department. Well, we're there. We're not getting any answers. And it's aggravating as hell.
It's like constantly like running really, really fast and smacking into a brick wall. And then you got to back up and you got to start running again. And then you're back into that wall. It's always, it's running, start, hit the wall, running, start, hit the wall. It's constant. It's time to stop hitting the wall. It's really time to find out what happened to this poor girl. It's just not right that she's gone. My name is Callie Lee. I'm a family spokesperson for Kellisue Ackernecht, who went missing on September 30th, 2008.
That was interesting to say the least. We thought it was I thought it was his house that they found the car, but it was actually his uncle's house. Here's one of the investigators. And
I am Sergeant.
He said the police said he was too stupid
David Gilbo,
to do the crime.
City of Johnstown Police Department, and I am the lead investigator on the Kellisue Ackernecht case. October 1st of 2008, because it was early morning hours, our patrols had come across a vehicle that was still on fire. Fire department was contacted. The flames were extinguished, and parts of the vehicle that had melted off onto the pavement were identified as possibly belonging to a Jason Ackernecht, who was a volunteer firefighter. Patrols checked with him. We learned that it was in fact his vehicle and that
He was a volunteer firefighter. He would probably, I mean, I don't know if there's ways you could set a fire without looking like it's, man caused. And that's why they, don't think that it was caught on fire, that it naturally happened. I don't see a car catching on fire at 9:00 at night like that.
wife, Kellisue Ackernecht, had the vehicle when she was working. Subsequent investigation after interview, that early that morning, approximately 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning, while at the police department, a missing person report was taken from Jason Ackernecht in reference to his wife being missing and not being found in the car or anywhere in the area after a brief search by patrol officers. Subsequent investigation led us to believe, and we learned that Kellisue Ackernecht was last seen alive at 9:35 p.m., leaving the Rite Aid pharmacy on Market Street in Amsterdam, New York. She was last seen in the parking lot, getting into her vehicle. She has not been seen since leaving the parking lot or actually driving to or from anywhere, to our knowledge at this point. The vehicle, again, was completely burned. There is nothing that could be recovered forensically, or we did recover some evidential as far as the partial registration.
Now, the daughter of Kellisue and Jason Ackernecht, she no longer speaks to her father. She got a protection order against her father.
Some of the items in the glove box that did not completely burn, verifying that it was Jason Ackernecht's vehicle, as well as by the vehicle identification number. And again, the vehicle was completely burned, started, we believe, in the front of the vehicle.
The alibi was he was asleep.
And burning completely through the vehicle. We have subsequently had an arson team, actually the state arson team for New York State, and also our local Johnstown arson team, which comprises of one of our firefighters that's actually a police officer and now a sergeant with our department, and our City of Johnstown Fire Department arson team. They reviewed the vehicle, they reviewed photographs. No permanent or determinable cause has been ruled at this time. However, we did burn 2 Saturns that are, in comparison, off by a couple of years and obviously not filled with flammable fluids or gasoline. But we did do 2 control burns on Saturns, one as if it was an engine fire that started the fire, and one that was more like a deliberate fire set underneath the driver's seat of the vehicle. And after reviewing the videotapes of how the vehicles burned, the police department stands at this point that this is possibly a vehicle fire that started in the engine compartment. The investigation did reveal that there was problems with the vehicle prior to the actual report of the fire.
I don't
and
buy
that they
it.
were actually in place. One of the subjects that were interviewed was in the process of taking out a radiator from a junkyard, a Saturn in a junkyard that was supposed to, Kellisue was supposed to pick up that afternoon of October 1st after she got off work for said vehicle. So at this point, although there's no official ruling on the vehicle, we believe that there's a strong possibility that this vehicle could have burned without any foul play being involved, just due to the time frame. It took approximately 45 to 55 minutes for that vehicle to completely burn, and any suspicious fires or anybody trying to burn a vehicle for evidentiary purposes or any other to hide a crime generally would not hope that a vehicle burns for 55 minutes without being noticed in a populated city. The vehicle that was found is in one of the main roads in the city, but obviously a patrol officer did find it. So it's not like it would have the possibility as if it was a rural setting where the vehicle might go for a couple days without being spotted. So that is where we led to that conclusion that no accelerant appears to be used due to, again, the time frame of the vehicle. Any arson type for profit, there was no insurance on the vehicle. There was no, as far as collision, there was just the liability insurance on the vehicle.
Seeing other
Mr.
people.
Ackernecht nor Kellisue or anybody associated with has profited in any way, shape, or form from the vehicle burning. Obviously, going through the debris in the vehicle, no body was in the vehicle at the time of the fire. The driver's side window was in the down position, and the location of the vehicle found leads us to believe that there may possibly have been a second vehicle either meeting or something where a window would be rolled down to speak to somebody if they pulled up side by side.
Now, that was definitely the car that she had at Rite Aid, right?
Yes.
That was the same car.
Yes.
What direction was the car heading? Was it heading towards her home, or was
No, it was actually, if you look on the map, it was actually facing south to southeast. But again, it's a place where
Darcy, thank you so much. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Y'all welcome Darcy to the family. Thank you so much, Darcy, for your support. Thank you, my love. Appreciate it. Nothing to do on a
the
cold
investigation revealed
evening.
that she has met
Cold day.
subjects in the past at that location. And again, it was right across from the vehicle is a grassy area on the roadway where another vehicle could have pulled over, and basically she could have held a conversation or got out of her vehicle and got into another vehicle. So, that's the basis that we're ruling it on. We have no physical evidence to even place her in the city alive after leaving the Rite Aid at 9:35 p.m. There's been no reported sightings with any credibility. There's been no evidence from video or anything else that places her returning to the home or anywhere else in the city of Johnstown. We're kind of working on the auspice that if she did make it back to the city of Johnstown, she may have met with somebody. If the vehicle caught fire, it could be enough to spook her into leaving with that person, and then at some point either foul play may have occurred, or she just may have at that point decided that it would be an argument between her and her husband, and she left the area willingly. That again is still undetermined at this point. She had also met people at convenience stores, Stewart shops, that type of thing on the side of the parking lots. So that was a location that she had met somebody there before. To add to the mix, Jason, her husband's uncle, lives 2 doors down from where the vehicle was located, which kind of adds to some of the information that we're getting and, some of the suspicions of the actual husband.
Were any of the doors locked on the car?
We couldn't determine because of the flames, and basically when the plastic pieces melted off, the metal pieces kind of fall into a heap. You really couldn't, the only thing we could tell was that 3 of the windows were in the up position and the driver's window was rolled down and completely open. Now, the vehicle was not facing towards her home. There is, however, maybe 20 feet, 15 feet from the vehicle, a walking path or one of the older railroad, what we call the rail trail, which is a paved walking area for the public, that does go all the way to the back of her residence. So that was also one of the ideas that were looked into early on in the investigation. It was a cool evening. There was dew on the ground, and the officer that was first initially responding checked the area and could see no footprints or anything in the dew on the pavement or the grass showing anybody leaving in any other direction except for what would have been the main roadway. They call it, locals here call it Frog Hollow. It's just an old area where there were at one point in time 3 or 4 mills back in the day that have subsequently been torn down. It's just a wooded area with the Cayadata Creek that runs through there. So there is a waterway, not really deep enough. However, we've had problems in the past with an elderly person who was located downstream from there. So that area was physically walked by 2 of our officers from our department. Actually, our chief of police and our lieutenant walked down the center of it with fishing waders all the way down to Falls area. And we also checked downstream of that, just again, looking for any evidence or any body or anything that may lead to solving this case.
The case is open, correct?
Yes, it's still an active case. Right now, we've gone over approximately 250 to 300 leads that we've taken in and tracked down through interviews, through assistance from other agencies. We've had a meeting with our local district attorney's office, New York State Police Major Crimes Division, New York State forensic officers who are forensic experts, have reviewed photographs and documents of the vehicle, of the crime scene or potential crime scene. And at that point was when it was determined that there was nothing of evidentiary value that either could assist us on with the vehicle. We then shifted to basically ground interviews, talking to people who may have known individuals that either knew Kellisue or Jason Ackernecht. And at this point, there's no evidence that even a crime has been committed, with the exception of the vehicle being burnt. And we cannot determine if that was accidental. It could have been a fire that was set by Kellisue herself. It could have been set by anybody else who drove the vehicle here from Amsterdam other than Kellisue. There's nothing that we can determine at this point as far as solid leads that place anybody behind the wheel of that vehicle. There's no evidence in the vehicle. Kellisue wore glasses. She also was known to have a cell phone. None of those parts were recovered in the debris, which leads us to believe that if she did leave with her purse, which we believe she did as far as the place of employment, that none of that was in the vehicle. So she would either had that with her. And again, if she's getting into a vehicle to meet up with somebody else that may have been there, that again,
No way she
through
said
the
it herself.
investigation was learned was a normal occurrence, so that she had her cell phone and or car keys. And obviously she wore her glasses all the time. It wasn't just a partial needed glasses. She actually wore them all the time. So none of those items were recovered, which kind of lends to no, again, official determination that we can make either way that would even assist in that portion of the investigation. So it's suspicious due to the vehicle fire, but if you take the vehicle fire out, there's nothing suspicious or showing any other crimes that have been committed or may have been committed. There's no.
I don't know. Here's Kellisue. She is a pretty girl. Catalina. Photos are tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny.
Blood, there's no.
Well, tell us what there is, you asshat. How about that? Does anyone know
But it sounds to me like
an address?
he definitely had a motive. I mean, at least a crime of passion, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's obviously one of the things that we look at is, how did he react to the news? How, we.
Well, he didn't react very nicely, I'll tell you that. That is for certain. Does anyone have the uncle's house or something? Like, I've got Google Earth pulled up here. And I've got Johnstown, but I have no idea where in Johnstown it was. Frog Hollow. Let's try this. Frog. Probably not going to happen. Johnstown, New York. Ooh. That's the park. No. We need a place with like a body of water. All I have is 9 minutes from Johnstown to Gloversville. Yeah, I think so. I mean, he seems a little, and that was 2008. Lots of forensics available then, yeah. Does AH and Ericon know the husband? Good question. What's in the water in that area? I know, right? I'd like to not go out at all. I don't know. That's crazy that the hold on. Didn't he say it was like Town Line Museum? I don't know. I'll have to find it. What's in the water? Not enough fluoride. Right. They said old meals. Is that what they said? I can't remember what they said. Interesting. Fulton County Training Center. Soil and Water, YMCA. Just a little town. Read Lisa Thompson's comment. Lisa Thompson, where are you? The map and exact location is on AH Brothers page. Is it Old Mills? Let me try Old Mills. Okay, that's not. He posted it after he was here. Okay, well, let's go look. How does he spell it? Ericon. How does he spell his? I've had enough of. Yeah, me too. God. I'm so done with it. That's what I want to know. Ereakon. Ereakon. Here it is. Ericon. Community. Okay. Here, I'll show y'all this. Frog Hollow, Johnstown, New York. That's the creek. And type in Knox Avenue. Knox Avenue. All right. Found it. Thank y'all so much. All right. So this is, I think it was probably found right here, maybe. Let's go look right here. It's got to be somewhere next to here. Let's go back and check something. All right. Let me take this off for a second. All right, so it's going to be right here. I thought for sure it was going to be found like right here. Check. This is it. This is it, isn't it? No, it's not. It looks like it's coming down though. This is it. Isn't that it? It's just grown up. Or is it not? Yeah, it's only look at the other map. Oh, what? I'm really bad with Google Maps. Let me just check something. Hold on. Is it a shadow? I swear that was it, but yes, Andrew.
You're in the right spot. Oh my God, stop moving it so much.
I thought I was in the right spot. It's
Yes, it's just 15 years changes a lot.
well, it said 2023. It said 20 or it was said 2023.
well,
it was just grown up. But it's right here, isn't it? That's what I was thinking. It's like right here. Yeah.
And the dirt path that goes off it is Frog Hollow Trail.
Frog Hollow.
It's just a trail for when you we're looking at it on the bigger map, that little dirt path you see following the creek, that's just the trail we call Frog Hollow. And my biggest thing is that I'm not really too concerned about people going over the case. I'm more concerned with people knocking on the door. I don't know how people are.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that a firefighter was entailed in this, so that goes deeper than I even knew.
Yeah. You don't know the husband?
No.
Okay. Who did you say it was that dated someone?
It was a long, long time ago when it was my mother-in-law.
She dated who?
The brother. A long, long time ago. I think even before we were born.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just to answer your chat, no, I don't. I don't know the husband. Actually, most of the things you're putting out now, I'm finding out for the first time.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's
The rail trail is set, about that time was semi-new. That goes for your chat as well.
when so the uncle, he has to live really close to this. It's because she said
I'm assuming. I'm not sure.
it was 15 seconds. This would be I mean, there's a house right there, but at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, there's not, it's kind of you're kind of alone. And there's
and that's what. And you see, I didn't know any of the timings or anything about it. But no, I'm like I said. I mean, there is the house right there. I mean, how can nobody see that? If, according to what the cops are saying, it was going for almost an hour. How do you not see it?
Okay. All right. Did you used to live close to here?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But everybody, listen, as teenagers growing up, we all knew about Frog Hollow.
Okay.
Like, I have not seen anybody from this area that don't know about Frog Hollow.
Okay, Frog Hollow. All right. Well, thank you.
But I only knew it as
Go ahead.
not a problem.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your sentence. It's fine.
Like I said, I only knew it as the Frog Hollow dirt path. I didn't really know that it connected to these roads until recently.
Okay.
So,
All right. And did they just call this little area here Frog Hollow?
mostly that juncture of loop of the road, the pond, and the dirt path.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there's is this a park here?
No, that's just a parking lot. That's actually went in when they did the bike trail.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
No, I'm actually not taking on anybody down above Goose Chase. I'm just trying to tell you what I know about that. But when I was growing up, this trail was dirt.
The what?
But nowadays,
This trail right here?
the dirt. Yeah, the bike trail on the other side of the pillars.
Where does this trail take you? Because someone could have walked this trail.
It goes from the industrial park all the way to the edge of Mayfield and Gloverville.
Guys, that's an interesting thing.
So it goes.
That's an interesting thing. Someone could have taken this dirt trail, or well, I don't know when it was this trail right here to get to where they were wanting.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that something along these lines have happened on this trail. I mean, I remember about a decade ago, somebody got killed on the bike trail in Gloverville. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people have been petitioning the county to put lights and cameras all up and down it, but they won't listen.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Not a problem.
All right. The guy said that the trail led right to their house. Really? So, I mean, just think about it. Someone ditched the car here, right? They ditched the car right here. The uncle lives like 15 seconds from here. And then they're going to take this trail either way home. I want to check something. Let me just. All right, is this the trail? Yeah, this is the trail. Okay. Let's see how far this trail goes this way. This is the trail. Okay, it's a crosswalk here. I see you. Do you have the home address where they lived before? Okay, and it turns into a sidewalk here this way. Let me make it bigger for y'all. See if you do it. This is the trail right here. Following the trail. Following the trail. This is the trail. Okay. All right. Here's where Frog Hollow is. Right here's Frog Hollow. See that little pond? See, that's the pond right there. So when we saw that picture, they took the picture from on this trail overlooking to this house. They weren't actually on the road. Let's see how far the trail goes this way. Trail. Trail. Yep. Trail. 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 Now, this is a trail too, but it's like a dirt trail. I guess what? Okay. So he that's interesting. I'll go right here. Okay. Yeah, this is the pond. We can see in it. See, that's the pond. They looked in that pond there. Does anyone have their old? If she's 35, I'm a supermodel. Angela, people back then, they dressed a little older and stuff. I mean, they said she worked a lot. School is canceled tomorrow. What is it? Yeah, I'd like to hear some detail on that search. Probably about as thorough as the investigation. No, I'm talking about. Oh, sorry. Cell phone records. Good question. Back then, Darcy, did I say thank you? Welcome to the membership. Did I tell you that? I hope I did. If not, thank you, dear. Appreciate you. Oh, and a 200 late Wednesday already. What the hell is a headlamp? A headlamp is just that. It's a lamp on your head. That's what that is. Is I see you here? Yes, EquiSearch searched here before. Vet girl, I was talking. I was listening earlier. We've been going pretty deep into this. Yeah, like miners or hikers or something like these. Remember the serial killer we were talking about? But they said the dates didn't exactly match up. I see you. Do you know the house that they lived at when she went missing? Anyone, children, think that school is canceled tomorrow? Hunter used headlights as well. Hunters, yes. But that trail is intriguing to me. It's very intriguing to me because you see, the car was found literally right here. Right? it's kind of an ideal place. There's nothing, not too much. I mean, there is a house here. The damn thing burnt 55 minutes. Before it was found. It was found by a police officer. But then, that's kind of like a park and ride thing there where they can, you can walk the trail. But it goes very far this way, we just saw, and then this way it goes really far. Did someone say they think the husband had help? The daughter has even questioned that, you know, that she could have had help.
No.
Although it is very small drop, the roadside is accessible. There is actually 2 parts to the waterfall. What waterfall? Sorry, y'all, I had to put juice in my vape. Car fires make a lot of noises. Yeah, they make a lot of like popping sounds, don't they? Like kind of like popping sounds. Andrew likes to snake himself into channels. They say they are done. 30 school closed in Michigan. Some are countywide. In my opinion, the husband, I don't know, but what's the channel name of the guy who said that they didn't want him to do it? Vet Girl, I found a really interesting page. It's called thefind.info.
When he was interviewed at the police station, it was a videotaped interview. It's not like there's a lot of emotion, but again, there's nothing that's pointing. I still have conversations with him today, 2.5.
Now, guys, I know we've been giving this guy like a hard time, but what if John Davis? Okay, John Davis. But maybe they just want to keep his collar loose. You know what I mean? Andrew said he likes the smell of rotting bodies. Just ew. I can. There's a funeral home that he can clean up that we just read about in the beginning of this live that had over 200 bodies. Justin, back in 2008. Those trails were just dirt. Recently, they were all done over by New York State, made into bike trails that run through the entire state. Interesting. I know, like, once you go left, like at the trail. Yeah, me too, Angela. Like it's paved, but then it turns into like uh dirt.
Half years later, I have as much conversation with him as I do the family.
Is Jason cooperative?
He has cooperated in every single thing I've asked. I've asked to search the computer. I've been handed the computer. I've asked for DNA samples to try to come up with a DNA profile for his wife. He provided not only his, I've talked with his daughter. She provided hers so that we could come up with this. I went back to the house asking for articles of clothing, different things that may have DNA that the lab could have run to verify. He's provided everything. He's the one who came.
I think this is pre-planned, definitely, in my opinion. Oh, Sylvia, honey, they found the car, but the car is demolished. I mean, it is burnt to a crisp.
Come across certain
But he had this planned, and he knew where he was
letters
allegedly, in my
that
opinion,
were
going to
between
send her.
Kellisue and other males, whether they were,
I don't know. We
the
need to check that,
dates
Jaguar.
are obviously when things weren't going so well for the both of them. He's turned those over.
Lie detector tests.
He has not been asked to take a lie detector test, nor has he refused to take a lie detector test.
What?
So
Make him take a lie detector test. I mean, it doesn't prove anything either way, but make him take a lie detector test. That on one of his videos, that while searching, he smelled a rotting carcass and thought, oh no. I hope not, Angela. Oh my God. What is wrong, people?
okay, so he has not abstained from
Right.
that. His alibi for that night.
Basically, he was home with his daughter. He had talked to her earlier in the evening. To his
Hey, guys.
knowledge, she was coming home right after.
We'll finish this later. I've been live 2 hours and 16 minutes. Ziggy just went live. I'm going to head over to Ziggy's. Love you all. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. Let's head over to Ziggy Land. Love you all.